my brothers and sisters in Christ. Today's gospel plays on the idea of the bread of life. For one sense of it that we are so familiar with is that Jesus is actually saying that his body is the bread of life, such as we celebrate in the Eucharist. But to his hearers of the time, he was most probably referring to his words as the bread of life, that they are really and truly what keeps them alive and will give them everlasting life. And if we think about the scriptures in that sense, I think it is something that we all experience. For indeed, all of us have individuals who have become really and truly the bread of life for us. That we like to be in their presence, we like to listen to them. Somehow their insights create for us a sense of meaning and a sense of direction. And also, most probably we could think about books or situations that really were the bread of life. Somehow they had energy, they had power. And especially, say, with books or that indeed, in a very real way, we read sometimes the book 2, 3, 4 times because somehow it echoes something deep inside of us. And it brings to us a great sense of life. And Jesus is saying that his words and his insights not only give us a sense of meaning for the here and now, but will be with us forever. That indeed, as we think and reflect on his words, they become more and more real and more different in each stage of our life. And so Jesus is reminding us today that indeed, that his words are the bread of life. And what are we to do with that? In the Byzantine community, when the gospel is proclaimed, the deacon or the priest will cry out, "Wisdom, be attentive." That indeed, that the gospel is this wisdom, the wisdom that lasts forever. And what are we to do with it? We are to keep ourselves open to the scriptures, to what the scriptures are saying. And secondly, to work on them. To think about them, to reflect on them, or as the ancients would say, to chew on them. Especially when we get to things like parables. What do those mean? How are they affecting our lives right now? And thirdly, to remind ourselves, and certainly the church's ritual does that over and over again, that indeed the words are precious. When the bishop has Mass, he will kiss the Gospels, indicating that this is something as sacred as the altar is. And so as we celebrate this Eucharist today, we celebrate that indeed we have been given the word of life. And through the scriptures, we become more and more aware of who and what we are and the great wisdom that is contained in there. And ultimately, we are to sort of walk with those each day, to think about them, to reflect on them, and to grow into the world of the word of life, the word that Jesus has given us.